Well, I got sent this play and I got offered the role, and I was thinking, well, I don't want to spend 3 months away from my home and my family, and this is silly. And I read the play and I was like, I don't know. But something about the play just stuck with me, and then I read it again. And then I read it again and I was like, I need to do this. This is really daring. This is what theater should be doing. So it's using an old theater form, the farce, to straight up make you laugh. It's silly. It's one of the silliest, wackiest plays you'll ever see. If you like physical comedy, you'll love it. And at the same time, it skewers some really important, deep, dark political questions that we're wrestling with as a society. And by society, I mean human society on the planet. So I thought that this was gravely important and hysterically funny at the same time, and that's such a rare combination.
You know, when you're kind of in the zone, the comedy, or at least me, the comedy is coming out because I hear the characters and each one represents a different thing, and they're all colliding. So I hear that pretty easily, but some of the story stuff takes a while to get right. Is this beat clear? Is this turn clear? So I'm actively making sure that the architecture of the story is that the framework is really sound, so we can paint it whatever color we want to. And Rain is such a comic genius, and Tina is one of the best, if not the best, American directors in the American theater. So I am partnered with excellence, and our cast is amazing. And Steppenwolf as an institution has been so supportive from the very beginning of everything that we've needed. So there's such a support to go even bigger and bolder that gives us permission to experiment and to take big risks. And this production is taking huge risks.
I think so much of it has to do, especially in this kind of a play, has to do with what the lead character is doing, my husband, Rain, in this situation, because in many ways I'm sort of the straight man to his goofiness. So meeting him and working with him has been so much fun because it really helps me feel like he's got to be able to bounce off the rest of us. So I've been really trying to figure out how do I make sure that he's able to do what he needs to do and also find the idiosyncrasies in Teresa, myself.
This story is a very dangerous story in that every single human being in this story can make a mistake that will lead to their absolute death, to their absolute end. When they walk into the room, if they don't get the thing that they need, they can literally be killed. So our farce is more about the need that people have and the ways that need compel them to behave in ways that are irrational to other people, that are unreasonable, that are destructive, either self-destructive or destructive to someone else. And they literally tear down their world. They just tear it apart until they are stopped. I think that's a very real idea. How this plays out in this story is that it is very, very physical. Not so much for me. Lolade, she's. It's not that she isn't. It's not that she's not in the room. She definitely is. But there are people like Rainn Wilson and Celeste who are really, really physical. I mean, it never ends for them. I don't know how they do it. But yes, farce is something that needs to be sharp. It needs to be clearly defined, because what you're doing in farce is you're showing form. You're showing the way things are supposed to be, or the way we think things are supposed to be, and then not just breaking it, which is what happens in comedy and drama, in this kind of storytelling, not just breaking it, but just destroying it all the way down to the ashes, and then having to rebuild this over and over and over again. And it also carries the same idea that in comedy that, it's always funny if it's not happening to you.
This show has kicked my butt. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It is a big play. It's long. There's a lot of words. The memorization has been difficult, and the physical comedy. I'm already covered in bruises, and we haven't even gotten audiences yet. So I'm physically exhausted. This is like a marathon. I'm gonna need to like get into fighting shape, you know, as I play. Like Serena Williams always, you know, starts her tournaments, you know, getting into shape as she goes along. So it's maybe the first and last time I'm gonna compare myself to Serena Williams.